if we could be in an attitude of prayer. Holy Creator, blessed Healer, Redeemer, and Sustainer, the one who calls us and challenges us and gifts us with justice, peace, and wisdom, we ask that you would be with us on this blessed evening as we invoke your name with our many voices. We pray that you would be with all the staff, faculty, and administration of this university, those who have helped teach and served in this past year. We ask that you would be with the parents and family and loved ones who have gathered here this night. We also ask that you would be with every student as we now celebrate their academic vigor and celebrate their accomplishments. For success is something that we never celebrate alone, but is always better in community. So we ask that your presence would be with us this evening as we share this time together. Amen.
Please be seated. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jim Harris, and I'm president of Widener University. Excuse my voice this evening. I've had a touch of laryngitis. I told my wife on her birthday on Wednesday that was my birthday gift to her, so she didn't have to listen to me. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and my faculty colleagues and staff colleagues here at Widener, I want to welcome everybody, especially the guests that are here from out of town. The convocation is the capstone of a week of scholarly presentations, induction ceremonies, and banquets, and we honor the very best of what Widener has to offer the world. I wish to extend a special welcome to the family and friends of our honored students, many of who've traveled quite a distance to be here this evening. It means a great deal to us that you would take the time, and I know to your student that you're here this evening as well, to join us in this celebration of academic excellence. I'd also like to take this moment to thank Dr. Eileen Lieberman and Ms. Jean Platt for their leadership in coordinating this week's activities. It takes quite a bit to put this show on for the week, and may we give them a round of applause and thank them for their good work. One of my favorite moments throughout the entire week when I go to the presentations that the students make, typically around noon each day during this week, is to listen to the students. Is just remarkable, the kinds of things they're doing as undergraduates. The undergraduate research that's taking place at Widener really is a hallmark of this institution. But it wouldn't take place unless we had outstanding faculty that mentor and work with our students throughout their years here at Widener and help them prepare and give them the confidence to move forward and make such wonderful presentations. So I would like to ask that our faculty colleagues and the advisors, if they would rise, and we might give them a round of applause and thank them for their great work this week. Please rise. Great job. My remarks this evening, I was thinking about what I might say, and I was reflecting on something that happened last fall for me. I had the great honor to be asked by the organization Leadership Philadelphia, of which I'm a graduate, to be one of the 50 Philadelphians to write a 500-word essay on a series entitled This I Believe. Now, if this sounds familiar to you, particularly probably for those that are more of my generation, this originally started back in the 1950s, and Edward R. Murrow, the famous journalist, he assembled a group of people together, and he felt that it was important that they capture voices of both the common person in the United States and some of the luminaries in the United States. So he asked Americans, both famous and not so famous, to say in 500 words or less what they believed in. And their choices were quite interesting. It could be one of the essays I remember reading from that time was about someone's spiritual journey. And then there were those who would write who said that they didn't believe in a higher power. And then others would write about things like the power of saying thank you to someone else. And they'd write about things both simple and profound. And their essays would then be recited on national radio across the country. It was about the end of the 1950s that this went away, and they stopped it. But in 2003, a modern author by the name of Dan Gittiman decided to revive the idea, and he published a series in 2006 of essays, some from the 1950s and some from today, and they both sound contemporary when you listen to them. So the idea was picked up by Leadership Philadelphia, which is a training ground for individuals who need to become more acquainted with the greater Philadelphia area. A number of Widener alums are graduate of it, and those who are both local and have been born and raised here, but also to understand, and those of us who are from outside of town originally, to understand more about Philadelphia. So they asked 50 of us to write these essays. Now, years ago, when I was in a previous institution as president, I every week wrote a 750-word essay for the local newspaper. So I got used to having deadlines, and I thought, well, 500 words, that would be simple. It would be an easy project for me to go ahead and write this because it was going to get published in the Philadelphia Business Journal. Well, it took some time. I really had to think about what would I proclaim. It's one thing to give my opinion. It's another thing to say to people, what do I firmly believe in? And so I thought about something. One simple idea I had was that I'd talk about my grandfather, and that my grandfather he shined shoes during the Depression, and then he later ended up selling shoes, and he always said that you could determine the character of a person by the way their shoes were taken care of, or something simple like that. But I decided to write, after reflecting on it, my belief in the responsibility each and every one of us has to treat people with respect, no matter their position or station in life. So I want to share the essay with you. I wanted to attend last night's session. We had a poetry reading, and the English department of creative writing provided for students to come out and read their favorite short stories, and I was delayed in New York, so I didn't have an opportunity to come and read mine, and I'd like to read it this evening. I believe that life's most essential lessons are best learned through personal experience. Throughout my childhood, my grandmother provided me with unconditional love, but always reminded me that you're no better than anyone else, but you're just as good as anyone. To her, it was important to treat others with dignity, no matter what their position in the world, and by doing so, you would earn respect in return. Although I thought I knew what she meant, I guess I never really understood why she was always encouraging me to treat people with dignity, no matter their relation or their station in life. That was until I was 17 and got a summer job as a janitor cleaning the restrooms in some local factories in my hometown. It was a humbling experience for me, and as I learned firsthand what it was like to be invisible, as I scrubbed floors and toilets and watched people walk right by me and not even recognize my presence. There were even people I knew from my childhood who worked in the factories that seemed not to remember my name. It outraged me that people couldn't see past my job and my uniform to recognize who I was as a person. Now, this made me feel angry and wanting to strike out against those who were treating me so poorly. When I complained to my grandmother that it felt as if they were viewing me as less of a human being, she reminded me that the problem was not with me, but with them. She told me to never forget the feeling of being invisible and to do the best job I could, because it was still my work, and in that, I should take pride. She also stated that it would make me a better man someday. Make me a better man someday? She must be joking, I thought to myself. I needed the job to pay for college, and there were a few other jobs available, so I bit my tongue and did the best job I could for the rest of the summer. What I learned through that experience was to always take pride in my work, to respect the work of others, no matter what their role or title in an organization. I pledged I would never become so self-absorbed with my own importance in life to not personally pay attention to others who might not have the same title, position, or good fortune as me. That experience influenced me profoundly as a man and as an educator. Today, when asked what job helped me prepare to assume the leadership of a major metropolitan university, I tell them it was my summer job cleaning restrooms. Not the work itself, but the whole job experience. It shaped me as a man and down the road as an educator. I firmly believe that experiential learning energizes education, helps young students draw direct lines between what they hear in a classroom and what they do within their community. Getting out of their comfort zone in order to get deeply involved is essential for students to find value in every person, no matter who they are or what they do for a living. Sure, you can learn facts from books and by taking tests, but I seek the lessons that can only be understood by walking in a lot of different shoes. It's the only way, as my grandmother would say, to learn that you're no better than anyone else and that nobody is better than you. Now, that's my essay, and as I mentioned, it was published in the Philadelphia Business Journal in January, and I've had a wonderful response, a number of emails that people have sent me, and we've had correspondence, and they've shared with me their beliefs. But tonight, I want to challenge the students in the room, because you stand for what is best and brightest, the very best and brightest of Widener, and the very future of this institution and of our nation. And you've accomplished so much academically, but I want you to pause this evening and think about, what do you believe? I encourage each of you to take this same challenge, to sit down and write about a closely held belief of your own. You don't have to share it publicly, although there is a website now where thousands of these are posted, but I would encourage you to do so. In an age where it seems that everything you do as a student, both good and bad, is posted on Facebook or can be found on YouTube, it is time to put something out there that has real meaning. Yes, it may seem risky, But if you hold some belief dearly, I think through self-reflection and the act of writing may help you in ways that you never imagined. And I really want to encourage you all to try to take that as you move forward and even just take the time to write the 500 words on your own. Our speaker tonight, and I have the deep honor to introduce, is precisely the type of person that I've described in the essay of what I hope to become someday. And she's dedicated her life to living out the core beliefs and in helping others. And I'd call your attention to the materials that were given to you as you walked in this evening. You have her full biography there, Dr. Annalise Collier. And she graduated from Widener University in 2000, but she continues to excel academically and professionally. After she received her Widener undergraduate degree in chemistry and her doctorate in medicine from Drexel University College of Medicine in 2004, at Drexel, she continued her record of excellence. You can see all the awards and recognitions that she received while she was there. After completing residency training at Thomas Jefferson University Hospital in Philadelphia, Dr. Collier relocated to Ohio, and she says that's been quite an experience for her, where she works as a National Health Service Corps scholar with the Akron Community Health Resources. Dr. Collier also serves as a preceptor for the Akron University Nurse Practitioner Program and for the Student Experiences and Rotations in Community Health, a program sponsored by the National Health Service Corps that encourages health professional students to work with the medically underserved and community health centers throughout the country. In addition to professional responsibilities, she's always contributed to her community. She currently serves as a site physician champion at Akron Community Health Resources for the Reach Out and Read program, which provides books to children during health maintenance visits. While at Jefferson, she gave her time to Jeff Hope, supervising and teaching students at free medical clinics and inner-city homeless shelters. As you can see, she's volunteered for a number of other things in her career and her lifetime. While at Widener, she received the College of Arts and Sciences Prize for the senior, most exemplifying the ideals of the College of Arts and Sciences, and the Science Award for the senior with the highest science grade point average. In addition to all these things that she does with her life and the way she gives back to others, she also enjoys being an artist and has done quite a bit of work, she told us this evening, for a number of friends, and you might want to ask her afterwards about her painting. Would you please welcome Dr. Annalise Collier.
Good evening, President Harris, faculty, students, and guests. Thank you very much for that introduction, and thank you for inviting me back to campus. I'm honored to have been chosen as this year's Honors Convocation speaker, and I'd like to start by congratulating all the students on your accomplishments. You should all be very proud, and I'm sure you're on your way to leading very successful careers. I've been asked today to talk about how my time at Widener helped shape the course of my life and career. So I'll start by telling you about some of the character building highlights of my freshman year because they nicely illustrate the tenets of what I do today. During November of my first semester, I actually became very ill with mononucleosis. Like most people, I took my good health for granted until I lost it. I was dehydrated, I became jaundiced, and I had to leave Widener the week before Thanksgiving, and I couldn't return until January. So I missed about a quarter of the work in all of my classes, and I didn't take any of my finals. So among bouts of vomiting and oral rehydration sessions with Gatorade and saltine crackers, my first semester grades came in the mail, and my GPA was reported as a 0. Yeah, I didn't even do enough work in gym class to get a grade. So my first thought was, well, that's really not going to look good on any medical school application. And so what happened? Well, it's times like that that you seem to learn the skills that shape your life. So when I came back to campus for second semester, I was carrying 33.5 credits because I had to make up all of my first semester work while completing my second semester courses. As most students know, the majority of your work is done outside the classroom. So as I started to feel better, I did some of the work at home. My professors were really great. Some of them had even called the house. But when I got back to campus about 10 pounds lighter and looking less yellow, there was still a lot of work to be done. Everyone was very supportive. The faculty didn't want me to fail. They still cared about the quality of my education. They didn't push me to take exams that I wasn't ready for. They encouraged me to manage my time wisely and to master the material. So I spent a lot, and I mean a lot of time in office hours. And I went to the tutoring center and the writing center, and I got notes from my friends. And by mid-second semester, the work was done, but I learned more than the subjects they encompassed. I became very resourceful and learned to appreciate more than the intellect of my professors. I was impressed and pleasantly surprised by the time, support, and patience that they would devote to a student. Today, my resourcefulness and dedication to the doctor-patient relationship are probably my best assets as a doctor. As a family medicine physician serving my obligation to the National Health Service Corps, I work in a federally qualified health center called Akron Community Health Resources. 40% of the patients that I see every day don't have any health insurance. There are many resources that I rely on heavily to deliver quality, cost-effective medical care. In Northeast Ohio, there are 2 national and 2 local pharmacy programs that offer $4 generic prescription drugs. And needless to say, those lists are completely memorized. For most common conditions, there are suitable and effective generic prescription drugs that, when prescribed, save money for the patients and insurance companies. Every brand name drug that is advertised to you today will eventually be generic at some point in the future. And I tell people it's a lot like grocery shopping when you're a college student. You usually buy because you don't have any money, you usually buy the generic instead of the brand name. In the event that one of my patients does need a brand name drug, I'm fortunate enough to work with a social worker and a pharmacy coordinator who can help them apply for what are called patient assistance programs. Patient assistance programs are programs in which low-income individuals without medical insurance may qualify to receive free drugs directly from the pharmaceutical companies that manufacture them. Each year, big-name pharmaceutical giants donate millions, if not billions of dollars in medications to our most needy citizens. With a lot of persistence, getting medications for patients usually isn't a problem, but it's a lot of paperwork. 2 other local programs that I work with to provide care to patients are called Access to Care and Care Assurance. And Access to Care is a network of specialists that donate a certain number of appointment times to uninsured patients. And Care Assurance is a hospital-based program that helps the uninsured pay for imaging studies and inpatient hospital care. And then there are many other tricks to the trade, such as knowing about local programs that offer women free pap smears and mammograms, directing women to the local grant-supported Planned Parenthood program that offers free contraception, and working closely with my Department of Job and Family Services to qualify truly disabled people for Medicaid. So I've learned to embrace the challenges of my work environment, but at times it is overwhelming, exhausting, and frustrating. I'm lucky because I did find a profession that I can be passionate about, but even though I feel like I'm on a mission to make a difference, I don't feel like this kind of work is truly sustainable. Reimbursements to health centers are encounter-driven, so the only way to have the doors stay open is to have doctors see more and more patients in an hour. I routinely run at least an hour behind. The schedules are overbooked, the waiting rooms are crowded. It takes time to establish that doctor-patient relationship, and it takes a lot of time to connect people to the resources that they need, but the system, at this point, does not reward doctors for that. If I didn't care, I could see a patient every 5 minutes, but my problem is that I do care. So I'm not the most productive doctor if you measure me by industry standards, but I do try and remember the fundamental reasons of why I became a doctor. I wanted to help people, not push productivity standards. So I try to convince myself that it's okay if patients wait as long as they're waiting for quality, compassionate care. The healthcare system is really messed up. I used to think my job was analogous to using a finger to plug the hole in the dam, but honestly, it's worse than that. It's more like the dam is broken, and I'm standing there with a 1-gallon bucket with a hole in the end of it. Yeah. I have 100 stories that'll break your heart and 100 more that will make you put your fists through the wall. With 47 million uninsured people, even if we offered health insurance to everyone tomorrow, there are still 36 million Americans who would not have access to a primary care physician. We spend more than other countries on health care, and we're not as healthy as many of them. The stress of the system puts pressure on physicians to ignore the ideals of the medical profession. We have a system of really perverse incentives that pays for the most expensive health care for the sick, but doesn't pay to keep people healthy. This year alone, I've had to qualify 3 patients for Medicaid disability insurance because they developed terminal preventable cancers. Our system won't pay for a mammogram or a smoking cessation product, but when you develop a terminally advanced breast or lung cancer, then we'll grant you Medicaid as long as you're poor enough to qualify. Now, the good news is that our nation is actually acknowledging that the system needs to be changed. President Obama's White House Summit on Healthcare will hopefully be a springboard for that change. So I've made my case, and I'm here to call on all of you as untapped resources to keep America healthy. Health is so universal that each of you can play a role in this no matter what your field of study. First and foremost, take actions to maintain your own good health. Similar to how most of the work of learning is done outside the classroom, most of the work of staying healthy is done outside the doctor's office. Make nutritious food choices, take time to exercise, maintain a healthy weight, don't smoke, don't drink to excess, sleep enough, and find healthy ways to deal with stress. Your best defense against illness is, as always, prevention. To the future teachers of America, you are integral in maintaining the health of the nation. You might not have ever thought about yourselves in that way, but it is true. Our schools cannot let students drop out of high school because rarely can a high school dropout find a job that offers them health care benefits. Health literacy is a huge problem. Patients can't fill out medical intake forms, and they don't know what medicines they take or what they're for or how to take them because they can't read the prescription bottles. They can't take control of their diabetes because they can't add insulin units. And they can't read food labels to calculate a calorie or a carbohydrate content. To the future business women, men and women, please do your best to offer health benefits to your employees and design work schedules and incentive programs that encourage people to lead healthy, active lives. To the hotel restaurant management majors, please put healthy food on the table, right? Advocate for school breakfast and lunch program reforms. In the midst of the obesity epidemic, we have to figure out a way to get low-cost, fresh, healthy food on everyone's table and encourage people to lead more active lives. To the language arts majors, 21% of patients served at community health centers nationwide are best served in a language other than English. We need interpreters, and we need health information written at a level so that patients can understand it in their own language. To the future politicians, healthcare will always be on the political agenda. The problems may be different, but there will always be room for improvements and evolutions. Please always advocate for the health of all of your constituents. To the engineers of tomorrow, I'm counting on you to make clinics more energy efficient because we have problems paying our heating and utility bills per month. To the computer science majors, we need to create health information technology that improves productivity, reduces medical errors, and makes medical records accessible across specialists and different systems of care. To the lawyers, I hope you advocate justly for physicians and patients and are able to enforce health policy laws that make more sense. To the scientists, I hope we can find cures and new treatments that help people stay out of the doctor's office and lead more productive lives. And to all of you who will join me, the future doctors, nurses, psychologists, social workers, pharmacists, physical and occupational therapists, may we find a way to help this system work for everybody and take better care of ourselves and each other. Until then, I'll keep using all the resources that I've been blessed with and keep advocating for a healthy tomorrow. Thank you for your time, and I wish you all a happy and healthy future.
Good evening. And Dr. Collier, thank you so much for your remarks. That was wonderful. It is now my privilege to recognize the new inductees into the Honors Societies. Students, when I announce your name, please stand and face the audience and remain standing until I've read all the names in your Honor Society. First, Alpha Chi, the National Scholarship Honor Society. Student members inducted this year: Kelly Barnes, Emily Battaglia, Evrenim Sessant, Christina Dukovic, Rosalie Giancaterino, John Hayes, Christopher Heleniak, Brian Henry, Danielle Lamara, Elizabeth Moran, Basil Nation, Mark Oxenford, Amy Rogers, Eric Schoenman, Neha Sirohi, and Caroline Smith. Their advisors, Professor Bruce Grant. Congratulations. Alpha Mu Gamma, the International Modern Language Honor Society, has one new member with us tonight, Basil Nation. Please stand and be recognized along with your advisor, Professor Thomas Benedetti. Congratulations. Alpha Phi Sigma, the National Criminal Justice Honor Society, inducts Daniel Breslin, Carly Graffio, James Green, and Mark Oxenford as president, with advisors Professor Shanna Mayer and Professor Lauren Shermer. Alpha Psi Omega, the National Honorary Dramatic Society, inducts Brian Henry, and its advisor is Bowden Sincow. Congratulations. Alpha Sigma Lambda, the National Honor Society for Adult Students, inducts Charles Williams, and the National Counselor is Dr. Emily Richardson. Beta Alpha Psi, the National Honors Fraternity for Financial Information Professionals. New members: Megan Morris, Anthony Pacapenachia, Brett Webster, and Steve Weisel. The advisors are Professors Joseph Hargadon, Frank Lordi, and Nicole Santamero. Congratulations. Beta Beta Beta, the National Biological Honor Society. Its new members are Rosalie Giancaterino, Eric Schoenman is president, and Neha Sirohi. Advisor is Professor David Coughlin. Congratulations. Beta Gamma Sigma, the Honor Society for AACSB Accredited Business Programs, inducts Jennifer Stong Morris. Advisors, Professor Gregory Sermignano and Professor Frank Lordi. Congratulations. Chi Alpha Epsilon, the National Academic Development Programs Honor Society, inducts Donald Thomas and Brett Johnson, Jr. The advisor is Dr. Alonzo Cavan. Congratulations. Thank you, Alonzo. Eta Sigma Delta, the International Hospitality Management Honor Society, inducts Teresa Bova, Ashley Donnelly, Christina Dukavich, and Kristen Randazzo. The advisor is Professor Shangli Chen McCain. Congratulations. Lambda Pi Eta, the National Communication Honor Society, inducts Melissa Caltabiano, Jill Entveld, and Stephanie Mancuso. Advisor, Professor Amy Franzini. Congratulations. Omega Chi Epsilon, the Honor Society in Chemical Engineering, inducts Lindsay Zambino. The advisors, Professor Jerry Mafia. Congratulations. Omicron Delta Kappa, the National Leadership Honor Society, inducts Christopher Heleniak, Brian Henry, Mary Kruger, Megan Morris, Basil Nation, Mark Patricelli, Eric Schoenman, and Neha Sarohi. Advisor, Dr. Larry Lessig. Congratulations. Thank you. Phi Alpha Theta, the International History Honor Society. Its new members are Christina Maloteri and Jessica Prince. Advisors, Professor Sarah Roth. Congratulations. Phi Beta Delta, the Honor Society for International Scholars, inducts Jessica Kaczynski, Basil Nation, Eric Schoenman, Neha Sarohi. Advisors, Professor Beatrice Uraka and Ms. Lois Fuller. Congratulations. Phi Eta Sigma, the Freshman Honor Society, inducts Melissa Caltabiano, Christopher Heleniak, and Mark Oxenford. Advisors, Professor Mark Bradley. Congratulations. Phi Kappa Phi National Scholarship Honor Society inducts Christopher Heleniak, Brian Henry, Mark Oxenford, Jessica Prince, Sarah Jane Rice, Amy Rogers, Michelle Santangelo, and Eric Schoenman. President is Professor Kathy Hornberger and Faculty Representative Professor Dawn Gulick. Thank you. Congratulations. Pi Gamma Mu, the International Social Science Honor Society, inducts Abigail Balaban, Daniel Breslin, Jennifer Burke, Colleen Fail, James Green, Christopher Heleniak, Michael Messino, Mark Oxenford, Jessica Prince, Brittany Russell, Michelle Scott, Lydia Schwartz, and Heather Waite. Advisors, Professors Larry Fair and Lori Simons. Thank you. Congratulations. Pi Sigma Alpha, the National Political Science Honor Society, inducts Christopher Heleniak and Mark Oxenford. The advisors, Professor Wes Leckrone. Congratulations. Psi Chi, the National Honor Society in Psychology. New members, Abigail Balaban, Jennifer Burke, Michelle Scott, and Heather Waite. Advisor is Professor Ross Steinman. Congratulations. The School of Nursing Honors Program, Kelly Barnes, Emily Battaglia, Timothy Hughes, Danielle Lamara, and Teresa Spada. Advisors are Professors Barbara Patterson and Mary Baumberger Henry. Congratulations. Sigma Pi Sigma, the International Physics Honors Society, inducts Brian Henry. The advisor is Professor Fiona Hoyle, and the faculty representative is Professor Tony Abi-Saloon. Thank you. Sigma Tau Delta, International English Honor Society, inducts Megan Kelly and Sarah Jane Rice. Advisors are Professors Patricia Dyer and Dan Robinson. Congratulations. Thank you. Sigma Theta Tau International Eta Beta Chapter, the Honor Society of Nursing. Inductees are Kelly Barnes, Emily Battaglia, Evrenum Sesson, Chantel Fletcher, Timothy Hughes, Danielle Lamara, Monica Obstakovich, Mansabin Patel, Grace Kazita, Stephanie Riccardi, Amy Rogers, Caroline Smith, Teresa Spada, Noel Tangria. Professors who are advising this group include Donna Callahan, Norma Jean Colby, and Janice Riley. Congratulations. Tau Beta Pi is the National Engineering Honor Society. and it inducts Mary Kruger this year. Advisor, Professor Mark Nicosia. Congratulations, Mary. And the Honors Program in General Education recognizes Tiffany Bailey, Kelly Barnes, Emily Battaglia, Teresa Bova, Daniel Connor, Andrew Douthwaite, Shannon Druding, Christina Dukavich, Noel Ettinger, Andre Ellerby, Sarah Getz, Rosalie Gian Caterino, Christopher Heleniak, Brian Henry, Lauren Hoffman, Megan Hums, Jessica Kazicki, Emily Keene, Mary Kruger, Sarah Leopold, Katie Loranian, Anna Miller, Andrew Montgomery, Mark Oxenford, Jessica Prince, Stephanie Riccardi, Eric Schoenman, Doug Schultz, Kelsey Schultz, Neha Sarohi, Christine Solomon, Claire Stafford, Victoria Tabler, Amy Wilder, Jessica Viscuso, and Lindsay Zambino. Congratulations. I'd like to ask for a round of applause for all of our great students and for the faculty who worked with them throughout the year. Thank you. I would like to remind you that following the benediction and the recessional of the platform party, I would ask you to join us for a reception in the University Center Library to celebrate the achievements of our great students. Ryan, thank you.
If we could pause for just a moment before we leave. O Holy Creator, we thank you for your presence during this time, in the applause, in the laughter, in the moments of joy, in the hope for the days ahead. We remember at times like this the words of Abraham Lincoln, who once said, "Leave nothing for tomorrow which can be done today." Remind us, O Holy One, what we need to do today, the way in which we need to celebrate, or laugh, or smile, saying hello, making eye contact, caring enough to help others. As we set aside our doubt and fear and live boldly into what you would call us to be, a people who exude justice, mercy, hope, people who respect others, love kindness, embrace humanity, no matter who they are, no matter where they are in life's journey, a people who help health happen, who live responsibly and stating what we believe day by day in words and song. So, magnificent Creator, may our actions, our compassion, our deeds, and our words always be reflective of the virtues and the wisdom that we have learned and we live. In your holy name, we go forth this night to do what needs to be done. Amen.
That reception's in the University Center lobby, not library. Just too much academic stuff going on here. So thank you all. Please join us.